Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating mental model. It's this paradox where desperately seeking something actually blinds us to it. We're going to explore why chasing an outcome might literally be the one thing keeping it away from you.
To kick things off, I want you to think about something we've all been through. It's universally frustrating. Have you ever found yourself frantically tearing your house apart looking for your sunglasses, only to realize they are sitting right on top of your head? I mean, we've all been there, right? You're flipping couch cushions, digging through doors, totally panicking. But the crazy part? The glasses you're looking for are literally helping you look. This everyday annoyance actually perfectly captures a much bigger phenomenon that dictates how we experience reality.
And that brings us to the core theme of this explainer, the looking paradox. It's this wildly counterintuitive reality that the intense, frantic act of seeking actively prevents you from finding what you're looking for. You'll see authors like Mark Manson and Sahil Bloom talking about this in everything from building a business to the dating scene. The idea is that sometimes you actually have to completely stop looking for a thing in order for it to finally find you.
So let's look at Act 1, the context. We're going to anchor our ideas today using this wonderfully thoughtful newsletter called Papa's Wisdom. The author, who we'll just call Papa, frequently shares stories about his late father, affectionately known as Papa Q Bear. Now, one of Papa Q Bear's absolute favorite idioms was, "Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then." You might even hear it as a blind hog or a blind pig if you look back at late 19th century newspapers. Papa Q Bear loved using this phrase to gently poke fun whenever someone, usually Papa, finally stumbled across an answer that had been completely eluding them.
But, while he mostly used it as a joke, the folksy wisdom underneath it is incredibly profound. The answers you're so desperately seeking, they're usually sitting right in front of you. Papa Q Bear's real advice here was to just be aware of your surroundings. Open your eyes. Trust your instincts. By letting go of that intense, frantic search, you allow the hidden prize to reveal itself naturally. You really don't have to force it.
Moving on to Act 2, the tension.
So what's actually happening on a biological level here? Well, it comes down to what cognitive experts call attention blindness. This is a phenomenon where your mind gets so acutely hyper-focused on one specific thing that it literally misses absolutely everything else around it. When you're actively hunting for a rare item, your brain gets locked into expecting one specific shape, one specific outcome. You essentially give yourself tunnel vision, which completely blinds you to the actual reality sitting right under your nose.
And this creates a massive tension between two totally different states of mind: active hunting versus soft focus. See, active hunting generates this massive amount of mental noise. It builds a rigid filter in your brain that blocks out anything that doesn't perfectly match what you're expecting to see. On the flip side, when you adopt a soft focus, when you just lift your head up and take a deep breath, your brain finally relaxes. And suddenly, it starts picking up on all those little patterns and cues in your periphery that it was completely ignoring before.
Which leads us to a really practical question. If our own biology is fighting against us, how do we actually learn to stop our own chaotic, frantic mental movement? Well, think back to the early 1900s for a second. The city streets were absolute chaos, just packed with pedestrians, bicycles, horses, and these brand new automobiles, all fighting for space. To solve this mess, innovators like James Hogue and Garrett Morgan introduced the electric traffic light, and eventually the three-position signal to safely manage all that flow. What these inventors did was create a device literally designed to force people to stop, look, and manage the chaotic movement around them. And we can actually use the traffic light as a super powerful metaphor for our own minds. When we're stuck in the looking paradox, sprinting frantically toward a goal, what we really need is an internal red light. We have to artificially pause our own frantic mental pacing. Sometimes you literally just have to force yourself to stop before you can safely navigate the busy intersection of your own thoughts.
Let's bring this all together in Act 3, the connection.
Over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu delivered a warning that sounds almost exactly like our modern paradox. He said, "Seek and you will miss. Do not seek and you will find." Lao Tzu really understood that by sprinting after peace or truth or whatever tangible goal we have, we actually risk trampling the very thing that's sitting quietly right at our feet. The effort itself becomes the obstacle.
Fast forward a bit to the 19th century American transcendentalists, and we actually find this exact same wisdom echoed in the private journals of Ralph Waldo Emerson. He noted that people only see what they are prepared to see.
Emerson's philosophy argued that human perception isn't just a camera recording external reality, it is shaped entirely by our internal attitude. If your inner self is panicked and intensely searching, well, that's all you're going to perceive.
Emerson's contemporary, Henry David Thoreau, expanded on this with what scholars call the transcendentalist eye. Thoreau wrote about how a busy, distracted farmer might trample down these rare, beautiful plants without ever even noticing they exist. He believed that to truly see, you have to take off the distorted glasses of seeking. You don't examine reality, you behold it. As he wrote in his journal, "Go not to the object, let it come to you." So, stop seeking, start seeding.
We've journeyed all the way from a frantic search for a pair of sunglasses to the peaceful realization that clarity is usually already present. So how do we actually apply this? Well, here are a few actionable takeaways for you. First, loosen your grip on the outcome. If you hold on too tightly, you strangle the possibilities. Second, zoom out and soften your focus to beat that attention blindness we talked about. Third, stop the frantic search and mental noise. Give yourself that internal red traffic light. And fourth, trust that the treasure was never lost to begin with. Papa and even his spouse, Colonel Debs, might tell you that whether you're looking for a lost household item, trying to build a business, or seeking a meaningful relationship, the rule always applies. Non-neediness and a relaxed awareness are absolutely your greatest tools. The spiritual teacher Gangaji frames this beautifully. She said, "The intense search itself generates the mental noise that covers up what is already there." I mean, think back to those glasses on your head. You don't actually lack what you're seeking. You're already wearing the glasses. You only lack the quiet awareness to recognize your already present condition. I want to leave you with a warm, Papa-inspired closing thought here. We spend so much of our lives running, hunting, and striving, totally convinced that the very next discovery will be the thing that makes us whole. But what if you aren't actually missing anything at all? The next time you find yourself caught up in the chaos of a frantic search, I challenge you to just stop. Take a deep breath, lift your head, and simply open your eyes. Because if you completely stop looking, what incredible answers might finally find you?